is
Zaza. Oh, yeah.
Fitzy and
Sweet as.
Wippa.
Hey, welcome to the podcast. We're back again. Yeah. Day 682 of the podcast as I scratch it into the wall here in the studio. So much coming up on the podcast today. God, forgotten already. Macca, what's on the podcast?
Interviews gone wrong.
Oh, yeah, like when you went to get your job here at Nova. Do you remember that? And they said to you, why did you get sacked from your last job? And you said, because I slept with the boss. Do you remember that? And then you got rehired here. So the boss must have been emotionally attached to you.
Over and over again.
Oh, mate, and you're a great kisser, and I'm no longer the boss, but it's good to have you back on board. Plenty coming up in the podcast today.
The Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
Job interviews freak me out. I mean, I was hopeless at them over the years. I told you the one story that I had is when I went for Cadbury Schweppes as going around and I was sort of like a sales, as a rep, that's correct. And I thought I did really well. That was probably the most confident I've been in a job interview ever. And on the way out, they just went, hey, Ryan, just before you leave, what's your favourite chocolate bar? And instantly I said Kit Kat, which is Nestle.
Damn. Missed it by that much.
But you know what?
Awesome.
I there was a moment where I was going, well, but can you understand, though? It is a Kit Kat.
Yeah,
it's
they're
amazing.
pretty superior.
You tried to argue that the Kit Kat was such a good chocolate bar that should overrule your error on
I'd
brand.
have had that fight in the moment too. Smarties versus M&M's. M&M's are so inferior to a
Yeah,
Smartie.
you should have turned around and said, well, I challenge you.
Yeah.
Build something as a competitor to the Kit Kat
they did.
and expand your brand.
What do you wear? Is your resume intact? Like, do you go hard? How confident do you have to be? These are all the things that are running through your brain the whole time.
Remember I told you at school when we did like mock rehearsals when you left. So in year 12, they had somebody come in and not only tell you what you'd be great, what industry you'd be great at, and my form that I filled out, they said you should be a fashion designer. Oh yeah. I know a lot about blue T-shirts.
What?
That's it. They said you should be a fashion designer. And they said, if you're asked the question, what is your weakness? You say, some people say that I have a bit of a short fuse because I get angry when people don't live up to my expectations.
Doesn't make you a good employee now, though.
At Scotch College, wouldn't it be just directing you into the right father to go to get a job from?
Completely incorrect, Ryan. You shouldn't need a job.
Did you consider it, Mike?
Fashion designer?
Yeah, Gant need fashion designer.
Well, it's not over yet, mate. I'm only 42. I mean, there's a whole other life outside of radio. I might start sketching some things when I get home.
Man. Okay, so this is... Okay, well, you're usually the interviewer, and I'd love to hear from interviewers as well. If you've been the person that have to interview people, that would be really hard. Did anyone lose it? Did anyone lose the plot? 13, 24, 10. How was it a disaster? So this woman was being asked about reliability, how do you go in a team environment? And then this question, she misinterpreted. But they were sort of asking her, are you prepared to do anything?
And then the next question was, how flexible are you?
Oh.
I went, well, I can't do the splits, but I could probably do a headstand.
That's really good.
I mean, I thought the same thing, to be honest.
Flexible.
And DeGroot, you did too, because you made a noise.
Well, I laughed at the fact that obviously that's where she was going.
You know what's funny too is the idea that you can get asked the question, why did you lose your last job? I slept with the boss. Welcome to the company.
Who's had that experience?
I've heard of that one. The other one was a mate of mine.
Is that how you get into Scotch?
Yeah, so you could get into Nova. Actually, it's not a job at Scotch. The one about he's a barrister, and the girl completely mistook it for a barista when she read it.
Tough.
How did you go from making coffee to becoming a lawyer? This is not going well, is it?
13, 24, 10. We're talking about job interview disasters. Kelly and Emu Plains. Oh, you've been interviewing people, Kel. That must be a tough job.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and do a few people go to water? Do they go to water?
Pardon?
Do people actually freak out? They get a little bit nervous? What's happening?
They do. I was on a panel, actually, and we were interviewing somebody to work for a bank as a trainee. And we sort of asked them about what a previous job or something or other, I can't remember, it was like 30 years ago. And she turned around and said, they asked me a question I didn't like, and I flipped the table. And we went, pardon? And she flipped the actual table
Awesome.
in the interview, and we went, "We'll give you a call."
Oh,
Wow.
well, at least you know that she's passionate.
Don't call us, we'll call
I
you.
must admit, we all sort of had a step back and sort of hung onto our chairs just in case we had to run. But, yeah.
Well, that was like, remember Mal Meninged with his political career, and he started answering one question and realised this is not for me. I reckon there would be people in job interviews that just went, nah, I can't do this.
Don't worry about
I'm
it.
out. Flip a table, get out of there.
You'd get dressed up. You'd make sure your resume looked good and your handshake was strong and all these sorts of things. A little bit of cologne on the neck as you wander in, hoping to impress.
And on your resume, you always put down your junior footy careers as if you're like, I've played in a team before. Like, you know, as
sports.
if they're going to go, oh, wow, he's been a part of a team.
Team player, that's the thing. I think it's more when you have to call your references and word them up and check you're still in good
Yes.
place with each other.
Did you ever put on your resume or your CV, did you ever put under nines long jump record holder,
Yeah,
national record holder?
all the time.
You would have got hired for that.
All the time. Yeah. It didn't get me any jobs, but yeah. No, I went for a few roles as a long jumper at a few companies. Yeah, so I had a really good
I
experience.
didn't know they were looking for one. What do you got, Tom?
Remember that guy who came in for a job interview here at Nova with us? And
For the online department.
online department, and he did a rap as part of his pitch.
That's
for us. And unfortunately, he didn't get the job. But what he did do was he stitched us up and recorded himself rapping, and recorded us. And I've got a bit of it here if you want to hear.
Yes.
This interview will be done when it's all said. Your first impression, big ears and a small head. There's a first time for everything. I've never rapped in an interview. You made me run the gauntlet. I heard your questions. There's been a few. Trying to make sure I don't give you the wrong answer, but still speak the truth. No one hires a tap dancer.
Well, they do.
I'm looking for growth. Stop blocking net like a goalie. I'm a video expert. Check out my portfolio.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you
that's
go.
Whippa's style of rhyming.
Foley's a good word.
It's not even a word.
Very good. He was very close, though. He
So
made
close.
The final three.
Final six.
There was only two that applied for it. Ready to make up for missed holidays with whatif.com?
Gotta love an Aussie winter getaway, but bring on spring.
Jump on the What If app to book hotels, holiday rentals, flights, and more.
What if it's Aussie for travel?
I want to know what your kid had in their mouth. Now, the kids do pick up things and they just start trying to eat them.
Oh, it's the idea of when a kid's sitting in a playground somewhere and all of a sudden there's a cigarette butt on the ground. And
Well, that's what Lenny did.
Oh, no.
Lenny's 6 months old. We're at the park. I think we're at the Botanical Gardens. And then I've looked over and I'm going, what the hell is that in his mouth? Half a durry. Chewed on the whole thing, Seth.
he was trying to light it at the
It was
time.
just nicotine everywhere. And he's been on the Peter Stuyvesant ever since. No, how's this story? This is over in Bingöl in Turkey. This was in a backyard of somebody's house, and they heard a 2-year-old girl screaming, and they've ran around. The parents have ran around the corner, and there she is with a snake in her mouth.
Oh,
A
don't.
neighbour was over the fence.
A snake in a mouth?
Little snake. Actually, have you got Sarah singing
Oh, yes.
about a snake?
That's a snake,
That's what she was singing at the time.
a slippery snake.
Hard with a python in your mouth.
I ain't fake.
Oh.
I bet the cake.
That is brilliant.
I don't know what baking a cake has to do with a snake.
can.
What sort of snake did the kid have in its mouth?
It wasn't venomous, so that's the good thing.
Doesn't
But
matter.
The neighbour had his head over the fence and said, mate, I heard the screaming. I've looked over and the 2-year-old girl has been bitten on the lip. But the snake was in the 2-year-old girl's mouth. The neighbour said, yeah, your child picked up the snake.
Wow.
Snake bit your child. She screamed, grabbed the snake back, and then
Bit it back.
Wow.
bit on its neck. She had the snake's head in its mouth, and she was biting down on it.
In 18 years, my God, that's dangerous to think about, isn't it?
That's amazing.
Do you grab your phone, though, and take a photo
You
before
try
you
to.
pull the snake out?
Try to.
Totally.
I mean, she needs to be like one of the Irwins.
She's
She needs to move into Australia Zoo and start wrangling the reptiles.
But I'm actually quite impressed with the kid to go back, because usually a kid would freak out in that situation, but I'm going back for seconds. Mm-hmm. Christine's giving us a call from Maru. Oh, Christine, what did you have in your mouth?
Hi, guys. You beat me to it. The cigarette butt.
Oh, no. This was your daughter, was it, Christine?
Horrific.
Yeah, it was my lovely 20-year-old daughter now. But as a toddler or a crawling little Hoover, she would just take in anything from like all the cat food to the dog food.
Oh, don't.
And it's plenty of sticky butts. Just chewing on them and,
Do you know the worst thing about it? Knowing that someone's already been on that butt as well. That's the other thing. It's a second-hand butt.
No.
But Christine, I had it one time when Francesca was really young and I'd been doing a bit of gardening, and she was chewing on some earthworms that I'd put into a bucket and chewing away on
It'd be
some...
good for her, I'd say. Good protein.
Oh,
I
no.
don't know. She can get it elsewhere. I mean, it's 2022 and we have food in the house now, so we have other forms of protein. We can cook some chicken for dinner.
Sustainability, I suppose it's not bad.
Yeah, darling. Let me put a bit of butter on them, a bit of garlic, and enjoy your earthworms for your afternoon snack.
Amelia's given us a call from Oyster Bay. What did your daughter put in her mouth, Amelia?
Hi, guys. Well, my daughter just learnt to walk and she was walking around the house, and then all of a sudden she came out. She had all this blue stuff on her. I was like, where did you get paint from? And it was really, smelling really fresh. I was like, where is the paint? And then I followed her. I said, where'd you get it from? And she happily showed me to the bathroom toilet where she'd scraped off the duck toilet.
Oh, the toilet duck.
Trough lolly.
Oh,
yeah. Happily licking it. And it wasn't a new one either, guys. It's been in there for a couple of days.
It had dealt with a fair bit of splash work, you reckon, Amelia?
Yeah. It was... So I was onto, the hotline ringing if I got a chemical disease or anything, but no, they said it happens quite a lot.
Oh, man.
You know what, Sarah? You are right. In that moment, they are young and you're disgusted at first, but is there a photo opportunity for their 21st?
Yeah, it's like when your kid falls at the playground and there's a bit of blood and you think, I know you're okay, so I'm just going to get
Remember there was a radio station, Tom, and they did a challenge where you had to lick something with your eyes shut, you're blindfolded, and you had to lick it and then work out what it was.
No, we did
and they
lick
got
it.
into trouble because they bought in a used toilet brush.
We did lick
And
it down
someone licked it.
We did lick it down in Adelaide, Tommy.
Yeah.
Did you?
And you were blindfolded.
What
you had
did
to
you
come
lick?
in and you licked something for $5,000.
And
we could get away with some stuff. No, we had it was a restaurant. We went to a restaurant and found a sponge that had been there for 6 months.
Oh, dishes.
And someone had to come in and lick the sponge.
Yeah, I think we did lick it for a ticket, didn't we? For concert tickets.
Just not worth it, is
So
it?
you couldn't do that anymore.
Couldn't we?
Commercial radio. We're going to continue this, Tommy. What did you find in the kids' mouth? 13 24 10. If you got a story, get involved. Belinda in Bellevue Hill, what did your daughter put in her mouth?
Hey, Fitzy. So my daughter was 3 years old, and we picked her up from ski school one day, and she was chewing gum. We're like, where did you get it, Baba? And from lunchtime, so this is for the last 3 hours, she'd picked off the used chewing gum from under the table at ski school and put it in her mouth. Then, wait for it though, it gets better. A year later, she's a 4-year-old, she's in ballet, and she excuses herself to go into the bathroom to, go to the loo. Comes back into the ballet class, and the ballet teacher says, "Oh, Charlotte, you're chewing gum." She picked off the chewing gum from the rim of the toilet seat and put it in her mouth. And
See,
Belinda.
the flavour would kick in pretty quickly, though. You'd be all right, wouldn't you?
Belinda, that was the thing, and poor Charlotte, what I learned too when I used to go to the movies with Mum was that you could find chewing gum under the seat, and when you put it in your mouth, you could still taste the flavour. And I used to do it all the time.
But who sticks it under a toilet seat?
It's the most disgusting
Isn't it?
thing.
I do regularly.
I love
Julia in Austral, what did you find in your 1-year-old's mouth?
Good morning. So my 1-year-old recently, I found a slug in her mouth that was half eaten.
Oh, she'd bitten the slug in half?
Yeah.
That can be really dangerous.
Yeah.
Really, really dangerous. That poor boy that died after licking a slug in a challenge.
Oh, Julia, be careful with that one. Let's go to Sam in Glebe. What did you and your twin put in your mouth whilst camping?
When we were toddlers, our dad took us camping, and we had to leave within the same day because we kept eating the kangaroo poo.
Because they're little
lollies.
They're little pellets, aren't they, Sam?
They are, yeah.
And Sam, was it you or your twin, did you say, that ripped into the poo first and then went, hey, you should try these lollies, they're everywhere?
Sam and
Double trouble, so both of us.
Sam and her sister, the new Bear Grylls of Australia. You could survive on kangaroo poo, couldn't you?
Well, Sam is proof, mate. She's called the show 10 years later.
Alex in Forestville, what did you find in your son's mouth?
Hi, when my son was 2, we went to the local pools and he was chewing on a Band-Aid that had quite a lot of flavour, hair and scabs and everything.
There's only one thing that could be worse than that. That is disgusting. That is so disgusting. How quickly did you get it out of his mouth?
Oh, it was I was the Flash that day.
Oh,
Do you know
no.
what? I don't know what's more disgusting, the Band-Aid or it's been in the local pool for so long.
Both are pretty bad.
Oh, Maria, you can't beat that. Maria and Engadine, last call. What did you find in your kid's mouth, Maria?
Hey, I found the F7 key from a computer keyboard in my daughter's mouth.
Okay. It had gone missing, had it?
Yep. Went missing, few hours confined it, and all of a sudden popped out of the mouth.
Oh, imagine if it went all the way through the system.
Hard to
and then you
pass.
found it back in the nappy again.
It was a moment for sure.
See, Maria, I caught Ted in the lift one time just running his tongue along the handrail. It's like, man, what are you trying to? What are you trying to take on as much disease as possible?
He loves lifts.
He loves a lift.
I love lift.
I love it. Thanks for all the calls. That was disgusting. Glad we got to do that.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that was wild.
The snake was actually quite tame, wasn't it?
Was it
Really, out of all of them.
Probably the cleanest one we had.
The Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
A dating expert has come out and said single women should be dating men 10 years older than they are themselves.
Women should be... no, I
so
thought
if
it'd
you're
be the
looking
other way around.
No, if you're looking for a guy, you should try hunting for a woman who's 10 years... Sorry. If you're looking for a guy, you should start hunting men that are 10 years older.
Yes. That's always been the rule because men mature slower
Spot on,
than
says.
women. So that's
Is it a bit creepy, though, if you're a 20-year-old girl?
For a 30-year-old guy...
30's not what 30 was.
It's way creepy. So you would love Francesca to be dating a 30-year-old guy when she's 20?
I don't think it would really concern me. Hannah, how old are you?
She's 23, I think.
23. Would you date a 33-year-old?
Hannah said absolutely.
Thumbs up
I
from
would.
Hannah.
I'd love to.
There you go.
Doesn't the maturity thing, once you mature, say at the age of 18, 19, it all sort of flattens out after that?
You think, just on reflection, that you matured at that age and that was you done?
Yeah, me at 18 was
Oh, my God,
pretty
no.
similar to what I am now.
You're still getting there. Men and women mature emotionally at different times, according to this. The expert goes on to say men take about 10 years longer to become emotionally mature than for a woman. So a man is likely to be less of a commitment phobe and also more decisive about what he wants in a relationship. He'll also have a more mature viewpoint when it comes to solving problems and relationship issues. So I think women, and it's been kind of a rhetoric around blokes that they're a little bit hopeless, a little bit childish. Are they always going to be a boy?
Yep.
You know, those sorts of lines and those sorts of comments that you hear.
Yeah, but
will he ever grow up?
A 20-year-old girl is still in party stage. You know what I mean? Like, why would you want to settle down and date a 30-year-old?
A 30-year-old guy can still be in party stage, for sure.
And that's the thing, that the 30-year-old bloke versus a 30-year-old woman are likely to be at very different stages. So that's why if he's dating a 20-year-old, they're matched. If he's dating another 30-year-old, she probably doesn't want to go out partying.
As a 30-year-old guy, you're starting to settle down. Without a doubt.
I think you've clicked over into the starting to think about or know that it's on the cards now.
You want a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
You got to start thinking about marriage at the age of 30, wouldn't you?
And it goes on to say he will have made his mistakes and unlikely to repeat them. He won't play silly games and he'll choose you for better reasons and appreciate you more. George Clooney's a great example of this. He was still a bachelor at the age of 52, the old Clooney's. It's a 17-year difference there for Clooney's and
Is there a creepy factor, though, for the older guy?
No, it's only creepy when the 75-year-old is dating the 30-year-old.
Yeah, true.
That's when it gets a little bit weird.
That's when it feels great.
Nah, see, if you're a 30-year-old guy, right, you're in a group of guys, and you've come home to the family and said, I'm dating a 20-year-old girl.
No one
and how
really...
old are you?
30. You're 30.
No one really these days.
I reckon that's still...
Jerry Seinfeld, when he met his wife, Jessica, he was 45, she was 28.
God, I remember.
Harrison Ford, Callista Flocker.
Oh, yeah, they've got big gap.
60 he was, and she was 38.
I dated Amy Hinz. She
How
was
was
a
Hinsey?
year younger at Wirrianda High School.
Was that a
and
big
I was
difference?
known as a cradle snatcher.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all I did was hold her hand, and
Yeah, but
everyone was going,
that's
whoa,
when it's back
she's
then.
so young.
And then as you get older, the ratio starts to widen.
Oh, inflation.
Do you know what I mean? Inflation says.
Sure.
And by the time you hit 40, I mean, as a guy, you could be considering 20.
I don't know if
that too
that's
much
how
of
it
a
works.
stretch?
Yeah.
But I think there's also something appealing about an older woman.
Well, look at the
Like-
French president, Emmanuel Macron.
Yeah, Macron.
And, with his wife.
How old is she? She's 72. I think he's 18.
No.
But you're right. There is a significant
I think
difference
there's
there.
sort of 20 years between
And
them.
I think some guys like the maturity you might get in a woman that might be 40 plus compared to the mindset of a woman that might be 20.
But that's because there are guys. Like, there's always exceptions to
What I'm
these
saying
rules.
is I'm not picky. I'm like, I'll go.
How old was the lady that you kissed, MDG? That she was
the 85-year-old.
And how, when you compare
Again,
an
like, let's
85-year-old kiss compared to, say, Bronte when you guys first met, probably in her 20s?
Very experienced.
Okay, so it felt
Yeah.
cultured, ripened.
Yeah, just a little crusty.
Ripened is the wrong word.
No teeth, just a bit sloppy.
Okay.
a few burst water mains that day, that's for sure. Traffic-wise.
Do you know,
you
my grandma used to give us a kiss hello, and she had a bit of the stubble on the top lip. Did she have the 83-year-old? Was she a bit rough on the top lip?
I had stubble myself, so I was.
Right.
You'd have to ask her. you know?
Stubble on stubble is negative on a negative.
that's hot.
It's a positive.
I just remember she leant back, she looked at me, and she said, "Thank you so much for that." Now, to be very clear, like this, I was hammered drunk. It was Vegas. Like whatever, these things happen.
Lauren's giving us a call from Wollongong. You know a rule about age gap love?
Yeah, absolutely. Morning, boys. Morning, Fez. How are you?
Strong.
Well, look, the rule is half your age plus 7 is as young as you can go.
Half your age plus 7. Okay, so if you are... Yeah.
20,
Yep.
17 is the youngest you can go.
Right, so if I'm 40, 27 is the youngest.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, but
Right.
no, if you're an 18-year-old guy, that's a bit creepy, isn't it? You can't hook up with a 16-year-old.
No. But if you're 80, you could date a 47-year-old.
That's right. See, the older you get, the gap, it's okay.
It's not
Yeah, that's the ratios, man. That's the
ratio.
That's the ratio expanding
I
as you
like
blow
that.
out and get older. Lauren, have you dated an older man?
I have.
How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 33.
And how old was he?
Yeah, there's a big age gap on that one.
Go on.
I'm married. I'm married to a man who is 6 weeks younger than me.
All right. Well, how old was the older bloke? Come on.
He was 20 and I was 14.
Oh,
Okay.
what? Did your mum and dad know, Lauren?
Yeah, no.
No, they do now, though, Lauren. Your mum and dad are
Yeah, I
listening.
know.
They're big
Yeah,
fans of the Fitzy and Wippa show. What was his name?
No, not there. I like myself now. I'm not doing that.
Good on you, Lauren.
Forgot about the rule back then, didn't you?
The Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
This blew my mind. I want you to meet Jo Cameron, everyone. That is Jo there. She looks unassuming, doesn't she? She's
Sneaky smile.
She's got a sneaky smile. She's got her glasses on. She's in her 60s. She's 65 years of age. Jo Cameron doesn't feel pain at all. At all. Now, I am going to go... Jo's going to go through the list of things that she's done in her
don't.
life. This is crazy. Has no idea what is going on. Is this a curse or is it a superpower?
Well, I mean, it's dangerous if something happens and you don't know that that's happened.
Yeah, an internal injury and you
Yep.
pay no attention.
Let's say you whack your ankle and you've got no idea that there's blood streaming down your leg.
Okay, so let's go through some of the things that Jo's been through.
Breaking my arm at the age of 8 and not realising it until 2 days later, my mother found that my arm was a peculiar colour and a peculiar shape. Having a huge baked potato burst in my face and not realising that I'd done much damage. Backpacking in Eastern Europe, tripping over with a rucksack on my back and falling into a concrete bollard and losing my front teeth and damaging my face and not feeling any pain with that. I felt stupid and looked awful, but I didn't feel any pain. Childbirth. I just went through childbirth
That would be good.
expecting to feel pain. In my head saying, when it gets painful, whatever pain is, whenever it's painful, I'll ask for it, the painkiller, but didn't need it. I know this is going to sound stupid, but when we're gardening, I I love pulling up nettles, stinging nettles. I love the feeling in my hands. It's a tickly feeling in my hand. I'm ironing, and quite often I'm sort of ironing away, and suddenly find I've ironed my arm.
Why is my hand so flat? Oh my God, all the creases have gone out of my palm.
Look, I don't know. You're right, because the scary thing is if you break a limb, right, and you have no idea it can do permanent damage.
But even ironing your hand, like that's a burn. I've got an iron on my hand. It burns. Like it burns right through. Infection.
Yeah, but see, with that though, Sarah, you can see it. So you know that there's something wrong.
But you don't anticipate, unless you can feel it, you go, oh, yeah, that's probably just a little burn. And then, you do end up with an infection or something.
Fascinating, though. I mean, you'd win with childbirth. That's the big one, isn't it? Where you go, oh, that's just paid itself out in spades.
The first thing I think of as a guy, if you had that condition, because it's extremely rare. Actually, do you know what? I want to throw this out there, 13, 24, 10. Is there anybody out there that has actually... Because there's certain parts of your body. I've had an operation on my finger. I've had a skin graft on my finger, and I don't feel any pain in that area.
Right.
I cut it the other day and didn't feel any pain at all.
So what part of the body can't you feel?
Well, yeah. Is there any part of your body that doesn't feel pain?
Does she feel... This is a bit naughty. Does she feel if her nerves and senses don't work...
Yep.
Does she feel pleasure?
Oh, Sarah, that is...
But she doesn't feel anything.
It's a fine line, Sarah, isn't there? There's certainly a fine line between pleasure and pain.
But see, the other thing as well, wouldn't you become a boxer? And just people go, oh my God,
but the thing
Joe
is,
Cameron just never gives up.
But you'd still get knocked out. You'd still need the fitness and you'd still get knocked out.
Just, oh my God, I can't even recognise her. Look at her head.
Joe, your arm has fallen off. Your neck's broken and it's on a right angle, but you're still ready to fight, are you? Okay, Joe.
Isn't it crazy? There's got to be party tricks that you can do that makes you really popular.
Yep.
Could you travel the world and just tour with this?
Why not?
You have to.
Joseph, and just have people throw darts at you. Josephine in Penrith, have you got a similar situation? Can you not feel pain in a certain part of the body?
It's not me. Sorry, I'm doing my best to get off the road.
No, you're doing well.
You're right.
It's not me, it's my uncle.
Yeah.
He was actually one of the first ones in Australia to be diagnosed with autism.
Yeah.
And he has an incredibly high pain threshold.
Yeah.
And so would run into glass cabinets and then have no idea that he had blood just running down his face.
Wow.
Just thought it was a bit of sweat.
Josephine, any other moments that you remember with your uncle where he had accidents?
My mum tells the story that he broke her shoulder once.
Yeah.
Because similar to the lack of pain, he also had a lack of understanding of his own strength.
Of course.
So he would wrestle her and then threw her into a wall and broke her shoulder.
Oh my God.
Gosh, isn't that superpowers?
I mean, your party trick would have to be turning up with a hammer, wouldn't it? Go and have a crack.
Oh,
have a crack
into
at
your
my hand.
Or the old lighter over the hand.
That's not bad. Can't feel that. I mean, you might be able to smell the burning flesh. It's been going for half an hour now.
See, the thing is, though, is that you would, with a hammer, you'll smash your hand, break your hand and go, didn't feel a thing. But then you won't be able to use that hand.
You start to get a little bit annoying as the body parts fell down as the party trick went on.
What could you do over and over and it recovers?
Yeah. Flame one's a good one.
No, flame one you can still... That'd blister and you'd get infected.
You're still ending up at the doctor with thousands of dollars in medical bills to fix your hand.
Running through a brick wall.
I just think it would be... I think the ones that you would do are if you're in primary school, hit my arm as hard as you can. Go for it. I'm not going to feel a thing.
Yeah. Let me know when you've done it.
Punch me in the guts. Go on.
That's not
me in
bad.
the guts. That's not going to do anything. I mean, that's not a bad trick.
Yep. Any pain you want to try and cause on me that doesn't result in me going to the doctor is a win.
The Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
Lights, camera, clarity.
Ooh, Sarah.
The top trending stories in entertainment this morning. Idris Elba has revealed that his daughter ignored him for 3 weeks after she auditioned for a role in one of his films, and he said no.
My daughter auditioned for this role. She wants to be an actress, and she auditioned. And, it came down to chemistry in the end. She was great, but the relationship in the film and the relationship between my daughter was the chemistry wasn't right for film. weirdly enough. She didn't. My daughter didn't talk to me for about 3 weeks.
How old's the daughter?
Oh, she'd be 20, I think. Maybe?
Oh, if I can't get a gig with Dad,
I know.
how am I going to crack this industry?
And you would think you'd got your foot in the door if Dad's in the movie.
Yeah, it's just rough if Dad says, "Look, you haven't got the chemistry." Like, why wouldn't you just say,
So it's the chemistry alongside him?
To play his daughter
Right.
on screen, he did not have the chemistry with his real life daughter.
Have the daughter?
Didn't
Has there
translate.
been any movies with father-sons in them?
No, but there was
It's got to be Michael Douglas and
Kirk Douglas.
Kirk Douglas. There would have to be some movies,
in
wouldn't
the
there?
new Thor, Chris Hemsworth's daughter is in
Yes,
it.
correct, at the end.
But they don't actually, they're not in a scene together, are they? That's
Yeah.
a separate role. Oh, no, they are.
At the very end,
The
they
very
do
end,
all
yeah,
the
yeah,
scenes
yeah.
together.
Gotcha.
You were asleep at that
I
point?
was not asleep at that point.
Clearly you were.
They do so much together at the end.
I'll move along. Hey, Mariah Carey's attempt to trademark the title Queen of Christmas has sparked a legal battle because two prominent festive singers have come out and said, no, you don't get to be the Queen of Christmas. Anyway, so it's going to court. I feel like this would be a stupid thing to fight. She's got all the money and all the cred.
What's the point?
She is the Queen of Christmas. Just give it to her.
She's not the Queen of Christmas.
Well, I mean, she just...
That's a huge title, and I don't think anybody can own that title. Can you take out the rights to call yourself?
Well, she's the #1 song.
Okay, is Michael Bublé the King of Christmas?
No, because his song is nowhere near as big as Mariah's.
His album was huge. He's got a very...
What's an
Work
album?
hard.
Okay. His album.
elbow?
His album.
What's that got to do with
Okay, well, the thing that he released with a list of songs on it is very popular at Christmas time.
I would
Should he be
agree.
the King of Christmas? Great album.
I would personally vote for that. I like to think of myself as a Bublé supporter. So,
You're a huge Bublé fan.
Aren't I just? Finally, guys, this was sweet. The tributes for Olivia Newton-John continue. This was Coldplay. They're on their world tour, and they brought Natalie Imbruglia up on stage. You do have to listen a bit closely because the crowd is kind of drowning them out as they all sing Summer Lovin'. It's quite cute, I think.
So, thing is, though, you get Imbruglia up, you need to play. You have to play Torn.
I think
don't
she
you?
did.
Oh, did she do Torn
Yes.
as well?
Yes,
No.
I saw it flying around on social media. You're dead right, Fitz. If you've got Coldplay there and Natalie Imbruglia comes up,
She would. Do you
Fire it
think
off
she
and
would
do Torn.
enjoy singing Torn anymore?
100%.
I reckon it's a song
would
that
still
she wants
celebrate
to move to the
that.
side. I reckon.
Coldplay are very good. Obviously, Chris Martin was a big fan of Neighbours. He does things like if Kylie's ever there, gets her up to sing. Natalie, he always
Yep.
pulls people up.
Good work. Great effort.
Cute.
The Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
All right, this is exciting, guys, because we're looking for anybody who can break the under-9s long jump record. What record do you still have? Is it long jump?
Yeah.
You have the long jump record at 4 metres, 73
That's under 9.
centimetres. That was under 9s.
What I've organised is an athletics track and a long jump pit for next Wednesday. Pat McGregor from Little Athletics. Hello, Pat.
We've got some of the best jumpers in the state right now to try and beat Fitzy's record. They've been training all off-season now, and they're really keen to get it beat.
It's an awesome record, mate. I don't take that away from you. It is an awesome record, but it has stood for far too long.
See, I got into trouble at primary school. Do you know
Why?
how I took up long jump? I got into trouble for trying to impress my mates by winging the long jump trip.
Oh, so they thought the ultimate punishment was to make you constantly land in it.
Yeah. So Mr. Joy said to me, okay, here's a load for your parents, and also, you know what, you're going to be the first kid that's going to jump into that pit.
You know what was great, though? You showed him by jumping over your own wee.
I jumped over my own urine.
Should have seen what he left in the shot put.
He said, I'm talking to you, Ryan. And
Very good, you Ryan. I got it.
I'm going to jump over your own.
You Ryan.
Pretty good.
We are chasing anybody in this beautiful state that could possibly break 4.73 metres for the under-9 long jump. Don't be shy, guys. Get involved. We're going to do this next Wednesday and see if this long-standing record from 1986.
Oh, this is good. Have we got a new one? We've got a new competitor. Is Harlow there? Hi, Harlow.
Hi.
How old are you, Harlow?
8.
8 years of age. And what is your little athletics club?
Milton.
Oh,
Okay, and
so
have you-
you're down south near Wollongong, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
And have you always enjoyed the long jump, Harlow?
Yeah.
Is it your favourite event, or what is your favourite event at athletics?
100
100 metres.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Good race.
You're pretty quick.
We've been hearing on the grapevine that you're pretty fast, very, very fast. Do you play any other sports?
Yeah.
What is it?
Netball and recap.
Oh, she's
Okay,
multi-talented.
She's ready to go. And Harlow, did you watch the Commonwealth Games and think, I want to be an athlete like them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is good, mate. Harlow's
Okay.
ready to jump.
Now-
If she can run fast, she's ready to fly.
Harlow, this is a long jump. Have you been training for the long jump, or have you only just started?
I've been training.
Oh, she's been
Well,
training.
this is good. You're under threat,
No,
mate.
the
This record
season
is
hasn't
under
even started yet, so how is she training?
This
Who's
record
been onto it?
is under threat.
Oh, this is great. Now, Rich, do you know some of the rules with, obviously, the long jump is that when you jump, the first thing you got to do is look up to the sky and put your arms in the air, Harlow?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's good.
She knows her stuff, Fitz. You don't need to tell her how to
I'm
jump.
just trying to help her out here, but by the sounds of it, she's all over it.
Harlow, we'll see you next Wednesday. We can't wait to see you smash this record. But good advice, Fitz, I reckon, for anybody else thinking, how am I going to reach that 4.73? We in the pit. You don't want to land in your
thought you
own
meant
way.
hands in the air.
It's not bad at
bad.
all. Go out and practice this weekend, kids. Do a wee in the pit.
No,
See if you
don't.
can jump over it. Make sure your wee is at about the 4 metre mark.
You do not want to go in there. I mean, Beastie, down at King George. I think that's where we're doing it, Tommy,
Yeah,
aren't
in
we?
Roselle, yeah.
Roselle, where the Balmain Little Athletics is.
Yep.
Beastie, our dog, goes in there and he may leave a couple of gifts here and there.
Really, a few
Oh,
landmines.
great, because we're starting Little Athletics in 3 weeks, so I'll be sure to let my
Well,
4.5-year-old really dive into that.
You'll know
Thanks,
where the
Fitz.
Fitzgeralds have been.
Consider it
William-
picked up and put on your doorstep.
If William has a bit of a skid mark up his leg, you know where it's come from.
Oh, compliments of Beastie. Small Bondi
Awesome.
cigar.
Thanks, Fitz.
The Fitzy and Wippa Show is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.